place. This skipped an appellate level of review, which means it's a very unusual case. And the reason it's gone so fast is because this has to be decided by the end of June. The Census Bureau has to start printing forms, and July 1st is the date they need to hit print on all of those.
Sounds pretty basic, but it's a pretty intense situation here. Would the Supreme Court decision be the end of it, regardless of how the Supreme Court rules, or if they rule a certain way, do states have the potential to come back and say, actually, no, this is how we want to run our state?
So typically the Supreme Court tries to have narrow rulings where they only decide on the very core things and not go beyond their bounds in some ways. But I don't expect that here because they really do have to hit print on those forms. So we're expecting the Supreme Court to actually give an answer. I don't think they would have taken this up and fast-tracked it the way they did if they weren't going to provide some resolution here.
Amber McKinney is the managing editor of Law 360. Amber, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot for having me.
And we go now to Milwaukee, where the citizenship question on the census is worrying the local Latino community. In 2010, the local chapter of the League of United Latin American Citizens, also known as LULAC, began a community outreach campaign to inform the Latino community about the census process. More than 100,000 Latinos were counted in Milwaukee in that census, thanks in part to those outreach efforts. Still, local outreach organizers and activists think the count was lower than it could have been. Now, with the addition of the citizenship question on the census, they're getting worried.
There are concerns with not just the undercount, but that this administration will actually go ahead and find a way to release the information. Should the question be there and people actually answer it honestly, they're afraid that information will be given to ICE.
That's Daryl Morin, a Latino community leader in Milwaukee and the former National Vice President Midwest for LULAC. He helped organize the 2010 census outreach efforts to the Latino community.
During the 2010 census, I actually worked directly with Dr. Groves at the U.S. Census Bureau.
That I love more than any of those, Giorgio Peviani. Who is Giorgio Peviani? I like Giorgio Peviani because it doesn't even really sound like Giorgio Armani, does it? The logo looks absolutely nothing like it. But people are still buying his jeans. Giorgio Peviani is doing everything that a successful fashion designer needs to do, apart from existing. To help Giorgio Peviani reach his full potential, I'm going to become him and go to Paris Fashion Week. So the first step was making a website. www.giorgiopeviani.com. Play on the computer for a little bit, we're online. I get some cards done. All of my networking tools at my fingertips. So the last step was buying a stack of Giorgio's jeans, heading to Paris. Can I get an entrance card for Paris Fashion Week? I arrived into this centre, Giorgio Peviani, the designer, slapped down the card and just act casual. 5 minutes later, they come back and hand me this. Giorgio Peviani has got himself an entrance. Giorgio Peviani, nice to meet you.
Oh, thank you.
Cheers, it's my guy. Giorgio Peviani. Giorgio Peviani. So like that, Giorgio had gone from Brixton Market to Paris Horticulture. So I'm drinking free booze, mingling with like bloggers, models, complimenting people on their Balenciaga sandals. I'm kind of like the young thug of fashion. But I want to know, like, how far can I take this? If you say streetwear is a religion and Peviani constantly sins. Is it okay if I try that on?
I can help you with that.
I want to try the most expensive dress in the room. I am gliding around looking stunning, and nobody is saying a word other than...
My knee shoot. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I get invited to this night with a bunch of Italian designers. I get chatting to this menswear model named Jean, and halfway through a conversation I stop him and I go, Jean, I need to see you in these jeans. He disappears for a second, comes back, and he's in these red Peviani jeans. And I'm just nodding, and I go, what do you think? And he just goes, I love the design, it's so populist. Not only is it he who likes my trousers, I get talking to this buyer from Milan. I ask her, would you sell Giorgio Peviani jeans in Milan? And she says, you know what, Giorgio? I think I would. They love these jeans. Influencers report on Fashion Week. Peviani at that point has gone from being on a market to being broadcasted to like 700,000 people around the world. My emails are filled with people inviting Giorgio Peviani to their events. Are they going to let Giorgio Peviani into the after party? Are people killed to be at these parties? Like, surely they're not going to let a man who doesn't exist into them.
I'm not sure if you have any thoughts on that or if you know where that stands today.
So then Alexa
Well, there was considerable effort that goes into the census to ask people their race or their ethnicity, etc., because there are many Latinos of many colors, right? You have Filipino Latinos, you have some from South, Central, and South America, you have European Latinos, etc. So that is a question that is asked, and quite honestly, still continues to be an issue for those people breaking down the numbers at the Census Bureau. But it's something that we'll continue to work on, and once again, nothing helps resolve the issue than making sure people are educated, know what box to check when they fill out the census.
Do you expect, regardless of the contingency plans that you're talking about being put in place or not, do you expect that this concern about a citizenship question will result in fewer Latinos filling out the census across the board?
Yes, we know that most people think of this as only having an impact.
Patel, yeah, just one. Patel! Oh, you've come to pick a box up, yeah?
Yeah, Osman box.
Yeah, that one.
Just one?
Yeah, just one. Sorry about that.
So is that an order?
Yeah, someone's on here.
Great jeans. So do you remember the moment that you came up with the name Giorgio Peviani?
Well, we were looking into the names, and then we decided, like, okay, Giorgio Peviani sounds nice. It looks good with the Giorgio as well. People, when they want to buy Armani jeans, that, they'll cost them 150 quid. Our jeans will cost them about 30, 35 pounds. But the quality, we make sure we maintain it very high standard.
How do you feel about me having called myself Giorgio Peviani and gone to Paris Fashion Week?
I was happy that somebody's at least had to look into it and thought that this brand can move further. So now we're trying to do a media campaign on the Giorgio Peviani.
It's good that you said that, because we've done something for you. I'm taking Giorgio Peviani to the top. Look. You look good. This is from Peviani, look.
Oobah Butler. Oobah Butler. Oobah Butler. Oobah Butler. Oobah Butler. You're so lovable. You're so lovable.
What about this one? That's great.
I think I'm in the mood for love. I think I'm in love with you,
Did you?
Oobah.
I love this
Oobah
jacket.
Butler.
We used to do like 16 different colours in the jackets and jeans.
I dedicate this
Do you think we
Auditory
might be able to bring
Assemblage
that back?
to
Yeah,
you.
it looks like a lot of old schools coming back again.
And Giorgio
Real Giorgio
Peviani.
Peviani. Look.
Thanks.
I don't know. Great, and the legend is Giorgio Peviani.